Hi, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be talking about gender expression, and this is part 3 of a 5-part series. We are reviewing the Gingerbread Person poster version 4.0, and this is Gingerbread Person version 4.0.
Okay, so humans will identify as a gender, then they will express that gender. This seems like a no-brainer. So, why do we need to go over this?
Well, Cindy, we need to go over this because it's not that simple. Many humans won't express the gender they identify as.
Why won't humans express the gender they identify with? I don't understand this.
Well, it really stems from a social expectation of gender roles. In the mainstream culture, there's a strong binary societal gender expectation roles between those assigned male and female at birth. This binary societal gender expectation role of your sex assigned at birth has caused many people to suppress or oppress the gender they identify with. So with this obstacle, even at the mildest form, it stops individuals from even thinking about exploring their own gender identity. There are then places where an individual could be killed. Even state-sanctioned execution or lifetime imprisonment.
So, you're saying that if a person assigned boy at birth puts on a feminine presentation, they could face such cruelty?
Yes, merely crossing that invisible line drawn by society that separates the sexes with an imposed societal gender expectation roles that dictates that those assigned girl at birth must do which is deemed to be effeminate, and these assigned boy at birth most do that which is deemed to be masculine. Could be a death sentence for them. This is why those who don't align gender will quite literally hide in the closet.
Well, will they stay in the closet forever? Why don't these people fight back and fight for their rights to be what they identify with?
Yes, in free society there are loads of people that will, eventually they will step out of the closet and fight for their right to be themselves. However, there are millions of people who don't live in a free society and will never step out of the closet because it would be too dangerous for them. Those trapped in a hostile society that wish you harm, I say stay hidden, stay safe, and if you could try to make your way out of that society by whatever means you can, I believe if diplomacy fails, then war is the only path.
Okay, before you start a civil war, what would you tell those who do live in a free society?
Well, first I would say stay safe and take your time. Just because your government passes laws making you free doesn't mean everyone will agree to those laws or even follow them. There are still hate crimes against transgender and other members of the LGBT community. So be aware of the people you come out to.
And What would be the second thing?
The second thing I would say to anyone of a free society would be to learn and explore not only your gender identity, but other people's gender identity. Maybe in time, this social gender expectation roles will fade away.
Other genders? How do you express other genders? Maybe we should go over these other gender expressions?
Okay, well, let's go back to the gingerbread poster. Here's the gingerbread person poster. Here is the gingerbread person poster after my changes from part 1 and 2. Now let's look at the gingerbread expression here. Again, I don't like the slide rule or their gender expression array thingy. It is well known that everyone has more than one gender expression, so why are we trying to separate feminine and the masculine when everyone, I mean everyone, will express themselves both femininely and masculinely throughout their life, and there are androgynous and non-conforming gender expressions here too, and the slide scale thing makes no sense. I like the paragraph on gender expression here. Expression is how you present your gender through your actions, clothing, demeanor, and to name a few, and how those presentations are viewed based on social expectation. Now, as to where I easily use my gender compass for figuring out one's gender identity, this method doesn't work well to note one's gender expression. This is a bit more complicated. What we need is a gender map, so why don't we create one here? Let's start out with a circle or a pie, if you may, and now let's take out a slice of the pie and color it red. This would be your feminine expression. Let's take out another slice, color it blue. This would be your masculine expression. Then let's take out a slightly bigger slice and color it yellow. And this would be your non-conforming expression. And there's your primary colors. And then the slice above it would be colored purple, because that is what you get if you mix red and blue. And androgyny is what you get when you mix feminine and masculine. The next question would be, what do I do with this slice, which I will color orange, and this slice, which I color green? I don't really know, so why don't we call the red and blue high feminine expression and high masculine expression, and the orange and the green feminine low expression and masculine low expression. This is the basic gender spectrum, but let's go deeper and let's throw some shade in there. Now there's a good picture of the gender spectrum. Now let's zoom out a little more and we see all possible colors. Now we see true look of what the gender spectrum is. Like colors, there are just as many ways to express your gender. How do you express your gender? Many sources have suggested that your gender is your identity. So in the same way you express your identity will be the same way you'll express your gender. But how do you express your identity? Through fashion and clothing, through posturing, feminine, masculine, non-binary, through the activities that you choose to do, even your dreams of occupation, even through your speech patterns, such as this right here. We have 3 lines of them saying the same word in different ways. See what I'm trying to convey here? Hopefully, words are hard, I tried. The way you present yourself is how you express your gender. By following the social expectation. Wait a minute, I'm not saying to put yourself within the gender role that is assigned with your sex assigned at birth, but rather the gender expectation of your gender identity, the one that you chose, or simply don't follow any gender expectation. Now, getting back to the gender spectrum, the rainbow scale right here would be the gender spectrum. So we're going to put an a dot here in the dark orange and a red dot in the light blue. So connect the white dot with the red dot, and that's the part. So this would be your secondary gender expression, your white dot here, and your red dot will be your primary gender expression. And then in the location the white dot is, it's your oppressed feminine expression, and then your overcorrective masculine expression. And then the line would just be the connection between your expression and identity. Flip it over, white dot in the dark green, and the red dot in the light red or pink would be oppressed masculine for the white dot, and overcorrective feminine expression for the red dot. And then we're going to flip it to where the white dot is in the dark yellow, and the red dot's in the light purple, and it'll be oppressed non-conforming gender expression and overcorrective androgynous expression. Flip it over, we got a white dot in a dark purple and a red dot in a light yellow, which would be oppressed androgynous expression and overcorrective non-conforming gender expression, and that is also a thing. And then we could put the white dot in a dark blue and the red dot in the light orange, which would be forced masculine expression and passive-aggressive feminine overcorrections. And then we could put the white dot in the dark red and the red dot in the light green, which would be forced feminine expression and passive-aggressive masculine gender expression for the light green. Okay, as we can see right here, with the red dot in the light coloration for the light shading, this ring would be your overcorrective gender expression ring. And then the inner ring here, the dark ring, would be your oppressed or forced gender expression. And everything in between the light and the dark would be your healthy gender expressions. As you can see, there are many ways to healthily express your gender. And then if we shade out the healthy ones and see the unhealthy ones, and we see unhealthy ways to express your gender as well. Zooming out, we'll have the gray rings around this. Everything outside the rainbow circle would be a representation of the lack of gender expression, basically your intensity, and we're going to call this the grayscale. Let's face it, you don't always express your gender or your identity at the same levels throughout the day or throughout the time. So out here in the white ring where the red dot is currently at is the absolute absence of gender, and then a dark gray will be the absolute presence of gender. So you got 1 through 7 here on your rings, and then you have 8 there on the center black dot in the very, very center of the whole map. On the rainbow scale, we will also have 8 rings as well, so 1 through 8 on the rainbow scale as well. I like the number 8 on these scales because the angelic number 8 means inner strength, finding balance, trusting your intuition, and believing in yourself and thinking positive. This is why I use the number 8 for both the gender compass and the gender expression. The grayscale is set on 8 levels of how you intensify things. 1 through 7 is what we can clearly see. The 8th one is a mystery of gender expression. It's expressions you don't even realize you're doing. It's like microaggression. This means if you can't place your gender expression there, you can always just stick your gender intensity on that number. So the rainbow scale is simply there to help you find your gender expression. Your marker won't move much on the rainbow scale. If it does, then it will move slowly through time. Your gender expression will change faster through the grayscale, through the intensity thing. Your white dot here on the 4th ring in the orange, and the red one's going to be the 4th ring in the blue, and then we're going to draw a line, connect them. And then we're going to do a blue dot on the 4th ring on the intensity, and then we're going to draw a line there. These will be your 3 points of your gender map, 4, 4, and 4. So the white dot here would be mid feminine low gender expression. The red one would be mid high masculine gender expression, and the blue one would be your mid intensity gender expression. What does this mean as far as the gender expression of the person? Here's the problem with naming. The possible gender expression is someone will get mad at me. So I don't really want to try naming out where you're at on this map, but I will say that this is my personal baseline. Like, this is personally how I would draw my gender. Unfortunately, I never actually put a name to my gender expression. you're more than welcome to put a name on my gender expression. Again, here will be the indicators that I labeled out on the map, just written out a little bit more clearly. Blue would be mid-intensity, the red would be mid-visible masculine expression, and the white would be mid-feminine low-visible expression. If you want to name it, go ahead and leave a comment below. And now, this will be the Gingerbread Person poster version 4.3 with my newest change to the poster. So now what we have here is the gender compass, the gender map, and the walking stick, which is, your physical sex. I don't mind the arrays on that one. It's kind of hard to just suddenly change a physical one. Gender is a journey, and on every journey you'll need a map, compass, and walking sticks, because you already have your walking sticks at your body.
I found an article that backs up your gender expression spectrum scales. I am going to read it for you. The article can be found at http://www.choosingtherapy.com/gender-expression. What is gender expression? Meaning and examples. Authors: Jack Bartle, PsyD and medical reviewer, Kristen Fuller, MD. Published August 31st, 2023. Modified for the video by Danielle, Stanford Montgomery YouTube creator. Advertisements were removed and spelling and grammar edited. Gender expression or gender presentation is how someone outwardly presents their gender through behavior, mannerisms, appearance, and other characteristics. For some, their gender expressions will reflect their gender identity. For others, they will not. What is gender expression? Gender expression is how someone presents their gender. Others then perceive these characteristics, mannerisms, and behaviors as masculine, feminine, both, or neither. For some, their gender expression will stay the same day to day and align with their gender identity. For others, they may experience their gender as fluid, and their gender expression may or may not reflect this too. People often confuse gender and sex and then are completely unaware that gender expression even exists. While all these terms are related, they are not the same, and it's important to know the differences. Gender expression versus gender identity. The easiest way to remember the difference between gender expression and gender identity is to remember gender expression is what people see and gender identity is how someone feels. But they may or may not be the same. For example, someone may not feel they align with any gender but prefer to express themselves more femininely. Gender expression versus sexual identity. Gender expression is how someone does or does not present their gender outwardly. This will be different from sexual orientation because sexual orientation refers to someone who has sexual attraction. While there are stereotypes about certain sexualities and how they express their gender, it's important never to assume anyone's sexual orientation based on how they present and vice versa. Gender expression types. Gender expression is frequently assumed to align with the male and female binary. For many, their gender, gender expression, and sex are aligned, and they feel comfortable with this. But that doesn't mean this will be everyone's experience. For many people, this may not feel comfortable or align with how they think and who they are. Gender expression characteristics may be described as the following: feminine, femme, individuals who lean towards clothing fashion and activity in which society deems for females or female presenting. Masculine, masc, individuals who lean towards clothing fashion and activity in which society deems for males or male presenting. Gender neutral, gender questioning, individuals who are exploring their gender identity because they don't identify with the assumed gender they were given with their sex assigned at birth sob. Androgynous, gender blended, individuals who have adapted some clothing and slash or activities of both the masculine and feminine gender expressions into their gender expression. Gender nonconforming, gender rebel, individuals who willingly choose to defy social norms placed on how they are to express themselves. Gender fluid, gender flex, individuals who don't seem to express a constant gender expression. Understanding gender diversity. Gender is not just being male or female. While many people who are cisgender will relate to being only male or female, many others do not have this experience. For example, non-binary, agender, and transgender people may not align with only masculine or feminine characteristics, and instead recognize gender expands far beyond what people assume. Gender expression and cultural stereotypes. Gender expression is particularly influenced by society and cultural stereotypes. Everywhere you go, there's the influence of what people think should be for masculine people and for feminine people, whether clothing, decor, self-care products, or even food. But when we remove societal expectations, rules, and assumptions, many realize male and female or masculine and feminine are just labels. And these binary labels heavily restrict many people from being able to express themselves as who they truly are. Gender expression impacts. Unfortunately, if someone has a gender expression that differs from what people would expect, they are treated poorly. People are denied medical treatment solely based on their gender identity or expression. Others are fired from their jobs or mistreated by coworkers. The discrimination, violence, or negative responses they receive are harmful and degrading and keep many people from successfully and comfortably expressing themselves. Coping skills for gender expression issues. If you or someone you know struggles with gender expression, there are ways to cope, explore, heal, and grow. Despite mistreatment and lack of understanding, many people can find a gender expression they feel secure and confident with. Here are 5 coping strategies to try. Engage in self-care. When you feel distressed or like change needs to happen, getting wrapped up in everything that feels wrong can be easy. No matter where you are on your journey, taking time for self-care to care for yourself physically, mentally, and spiritually is important. Experiment with expressing yourself. It can be helpful to experiment and take small steps. Maybe you could buy a new skirt online at home, a new accessory, or try a different clothing style on your day off. Talk to a therapist. Therapy is an entire space devoted completely to you. Never underestimate the power of talking about how you feel, what you're going through, and the questions you have. It can feel hard to find a therapist who is a good fit, but once you do, it's worth it. Don't forget to try out an online therapist directory to help you in your search. Have fun. While questioning your gender and experimenting is serious, don't forget to have fun with it. If something doesn't go well or you feel ridiculous, it's okay to feel frustrated, but don't forget to laugh at yourself and enjoy the exploration process. Wear that dress if it's not you, then you can still go back to wearing your old clothes. Identify support. Invite a trusted friend or family member to explore with you, help you talk through how you feel, or brainstorm ways you can explore or embrace your gender. Who knows, they may have had similar thoughts or feelings. Just remember, true support is not forced, so be kind to those trying to help you. Your parents might surprise you. How to support a loved one. What can you do if you have a friend or family member with a gender expression that doesn't match stereotypical ideas of how men/women should look or act? Here's how to be a supportive friend to someone struggling with gender expression issues. Be an ally. Ally is a verb, meaning you must do some work. Take time to educate yourself about what someone has expressed to you, whether about their gender or gender expression. Also, stand up for the person if others say unkind or inaccurate things. Ask about pronouns. While gender expression and pronouns are separate, sometimes when people are exploring their gender expression, they may also be exploring new pronouns. It never hurts to ask someone if this is something they are considering. Recognize someone's gender expression. Even if you don't have a similar experience or feel the same way, it's important to acknowledge the person is the expert on their own experience. This is validating for that person and will help them feel supported. Listen to hear, not just respond. It's normal to feel nervous when someone starts to talk to you about something you don't feel like an expert on. But it's important to hear what the person is saying instead of just thinking about what you will say. Ask what they need. If you're struggling with what to say or how to react, ask the person what they need. This allows them to share how you can support them and let you know what you can do for them. Win-win, in my experience. Understanding gender expression can initially feel overwhelming, but the more you know, the more you can learn about yourself and others. I also want to let anyone questioning see that they aren't alone. I meet with so many folks who are just trying to know themselves better and understand where they fit in the world. Never assume the following, added by Danielle. It's just a phase. It is not just a phase. Even if it is a phase, it is still an important phase for that individual. But most gender identities and gender expressions are not just a phase. So, it is important to allow the individual to express themselves however they feel they will be the happiest. Then, if it does turn out to be just a phase, then they will know that they are not that gender. They are just seeking attention. It's just clothing, or a game, or an activity you didn't expect them to wear, play, or do. This does not mean that the individual did that just to get your attention. Other people, including your friends and family, aren't here solely for your attention. It is possible that other people just wanted to explore something for their own knowledge. They are confused. They are not confused. Most transgender presenting individuals have a better understanding of gender than they appear to have. More often the case is the individual accusing someone of being confused about their gender are in fact the ones who are confused about gender. For further reading, Gender Dysphoria, Symptoms, Signs, and Treatments. Gender-neutral parenting, what it is, pros and cons. A guide to coming out, choosing therapy. Transgender, what it means and how to find support. National Center for Transgender Equality. Understanding Gender Identities, the Trevor Project.
If you're looking for some more additional resources to further your exploration through gender expression, this is a good source, and this one here also would be a good too. They do a decent job. Thank you for that, Cindy. I hope you all got a lot from this video, and I would like to thank you for watching the video series. Please stay tuned for part 4. Sexual orientation.
Ugh, you beat me to that. I was going to say that. Thank you for watching. Please stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, hit that notification button if you wanna. I hate having facial hair. I grew this just for the video. It took me 2 weeks to get this much to grow. I'm gonna shave it off. That is so much better. I feel pretty again. Shoot, I forgot to do this again. Right, that's my volume 1 of my autobiography, volume 2 of my autobiography, volume 3 of my autobiography, and the textbook that I wrote, and the sequel to that textbook, so volume 1 and volume 2, and then that's a glossary of terms that I wrote, and then there's the novel that I wrote. It's kind of a intriguing one. These are my books, so if you want to help me out, you can go to Amazon or Kindle or whatever and see if you can buy some of these. That'll really help out. Thank you.